My name is Ali Abdi. I'm currently the managing director of an institute called the Horn Economic and Social Policy Institute, located in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. This is a regional institute that works with a group of countries in the Horn of Africa. Principally about 7 or 8, but we focus on, it so happens the last couple of years, on fragile states or post-conflict countries in the Horn of Africa. Principally South Sudan and Somalia have been most of the work we've been doing. But also we work on a regional basis in terms of economic integration issues, financial sector competitiveness development. Principally on the economic side, but also on the social sector side. We also are moving more into the productive sector, industry, agriculture, climate change issues. Not too many people know about this, but I would hope in a few years people would be reflecting on the Horn of Africa Institute, or Horn Economic and Social Policy Institute, as the premier think tank of that sub-region. So that's what we're aiming at. The essence, I think, of fragility, I know most of the people are very reluctant to even define it or to sort of be specific about it, is a country that has been, for one reason or the other, either man-made or possibly disaster or both, have come through a very prolonged crisis and conflict. And as a result of that, a primary characteristic of these kind of societies is that institutions are weak, infrastructure has been damaged or destroyed, and for all developing economies, finance is important, but particularly for a fragile state. It's the focal point, because you have to use the little you have extremely well. And also, if a country, fragile state, is able to use its own resources well, it's likely to get augmentation, incremental financing, from the international community. Except for security, I don't know of anything more important to fragile states than how well they manage their own resources, or the resources available to them. That's the $64,000 question. I mean, it's I think a struggle that everybody is trying to cope with, because again, a characteristic of fragility is that the people who have the right skills have either left the country, have been displaced, or are not in the right post, to deliver the services and the goods. Typical of the Afghanistans and the Iraqs and Liberias and Somalias of this world is that the first line of skilled people leave. Medical doctors, engineers, lawyers, God knows what. So you're trying to build institutions while you don't have the requisite skills. And you can't buy, you can't borrow, either you have to rebuild it. And the danger of rebuilding it through external support and external skills is that that's not sustainable. You can get an expert from the UK or from US, or he can sit around and deliver the goods for 2 years, maybe, or 3 years, but he's not going to be with you for life. So you have to basically be building capacity from either a very low level or from scratch. And I think that takes perseverance, it takes commitment, it takes also getting the right support. Because as we said a moment ago, given the paucity of financial resources, you cannot build that in a matter of days or more. To me, it's the most difficult issue, because you have to know what you're doing, be committed to doing it, and have the resource to do it over time. And I think that's a crucial point for fragile states. I had a number of sessions, and I think we had a number of recommendations. I think most people focus, when they hear about coordination, the development partners, code or donors, not falling over each other, duplicating, financing or duplicating technical assistance. Most commentators or people who are commenting on this are focusing on internal donor coordination. To me, the one that's even more critical is for the international community or development partners or donors, whatever term we use, to be able to coordinate what they are doing with the authorities of the fragile state. To get 30, 40 donors sitting around the table. I used to be one of those. I used to work for the IMF for about 20 plus years. And to have 20, 30, 40 donor representatives sort of talking to each other, all we do is complain about how ineffective, how poor, how lack of commitment. But that doesn't get us anywhere. So what we need, I think, as international community or development partners, is for us to be sitting, being frank with the authorities themselves. So ultimately the coordination that matters is when the donors and the authorities are on the same page, in terms of delivery, in terms of planning, in terms of strategies. One country that I have had the pleasure of working on is Tanzania, which has a very good working relationship with the international community, development partners. And what makes that system work is the Tanzanians are part of the discussion and dialogue. They're on the table. So you don't have the donors sort of ganging up on the government and saying, look, we want you to do A, B, C, D, regardless of whether you want it or not. And that kind of coordination, I think, is essential, and it works, as far as I can tell. I think public finance management is not only, as you might have heard the last discussion, a set of laws you put in place or a set of, should we say, regulations or systems, but it's essentially a management of a very precious resource, which is the budget process in terms of formulation of policies, in terms of execution, in terms of delivery of goods and services. And ultimately, a budget is a political document. It's a contract with the nation or with the society. If you say you're going to deliver, improved education, you're going to deliver improved health, infrastructure or road system, the one importance of PFM is it allows you to keep to these commitments and to deliver it with the absolute, least possible cost, without leakage or without a lot of corruption, and so it's ultimately it's what government and the society contractually have to deliver to each other. If PFM has its deficiencies, whether it's a question of poor service delivery or abuse and misuse of resources, even though we have democratic societies that change governments every 4 or 5 years, inevitably you have a messy system in place. So to me, it's the essence of governance, delivering the goods to the society and delivering it at the least possible cost with the most effectiveness and with the most efficiency. And I think that's the reason that we are spending 2 days trying to say what works and what doesn't work.